Tonight, it's gonna be a party in my quilting room because we're rocking on a t-shirt quilt for Father's Day, so let's rock. And by rock, I mean stay home all night and quilt, drinking wine and eating M&Ms. No, actually, I kind of have a deadline tonight because I'm making a perfect Father's Day gift. It's a free pattern using my husband's t-shirts. Now, I'm a little nervous because these are his prized shirts. I know that because they were in a box saying do not open, but I opened it anyway. So I have my manly rocking colors here, some black and gray and white, and all his prized t-shirts. So I'm gonna get to cutting both of these up and we'll see it come together in one awesome quilt. Before I can make this t-shirt quilt, I have got to cut into these shirts, and finding these was no easy thing. Like I said, Jeremy loves his band shirts. He loves going to concerts, and he keeps his most prized shirts not in the closet. He doesn't wear them. They're actually very special and they're kept hidden. So I knew where his stash was. Is it weird that he has a secret stash? I don't know, but I found him and I'm gonna cut into him. But I can't make a mistake because if I cut these wrong, I don't know what's gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do is rough cut them out and then trim them up to the size later. Rough cut that one out. This is kind of like a trip down memory lane. I mean, we've been to quite a few concerts together. He's been to more without me than I've been to without him, but in fact, he was just at a concert just a couple weeks ago, loved it. But we had only been dating for like a whole week, and he was like, oh, I'm going 3 states away for a Metallica concert. I'm like, okay, have fun with that. So it's kind of a big deal to him and his family. And I've been telling him I would make him a t-shirt quilt for the longest time. Like, all these shirts, they're just hiding in the closet. Let's get them out. And he's like, no, I don't want them in a quilt. Okay, I'll make it a cool quilt. He still said no. So I'll just make it a fun surprise. And if he doesn't love the idea of me hacking up his shirts and turning it into an amazing quilt, I'll just tell him that the kids thought of it. Now, it might look all rough right now, and if Jeremy came in right now, I'm pretty sure he would think I was slaughtering his shirts. But soon I'm gonna interface them and trim them up and make them look all nice and neat. Somebody's up there walking. I hope he's not awake. And so for all of you that are freaking out at the thought I'm cutting up his shirts, it's a thoughtful present. He's gonna be able to look at them and remember all those great times that we had together at those concerts. Either that or look at them and remember when they were still shirts. But either way, it's the thought that counts. Okay, last shirt. Oh, wait, well, that's not his shirt, but I thought a midnight somewhere shirt, like it is. No? Okay, he might not like that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish chopping up these shirts. I mean, lovingly curating them into quilt blocks, cut my other fabric, and then we'll start seeing the quilt blocks come together. This is not a regular kind of t-shirt quilt. It's not like I went and found his prized shirts, cut them up, and thought, oh, what should I do now? No, I spent time designing a very cool looking t-shirt quilt that uses big flying geese to frame the blocks. But even better, it's a free pattern. So if you have a loved one who you want to cut up their shirts, you can make the same quilt as well. So I'm going to cut the fabric into squares and then cut them in half diagonally once or twice, depending on the size, to make my flying geese blocks. Now that I have these ready, it's time to get those shirts ready, and then I can start putting them all together. One of the toughest things about dealing with t-shirts is handling that stretchy knit. What tends to happen is as we sew or cut, it tends to shift and stretch, and that is not a good thing. I'm gonna use some interfacing to help it hold its shape and make it easier to cut. I'm gonna pick a light interfacing because I don't want it to be too stiff, but it definitely has to be just enough that I can cut it. So this one is gonna get turned over. So you need a good pressing mat. You're gonna need a good iron with steam. I didn't have a big iron like this, so I borrowed one from a friend. And then you're gonna need your interfacing. So I've already cut out my interfacing bigger than what I need my block to be. On one side, we'll have the little bitty glue dot, so it'll feel a little rougher, and the other side will be smooth. We're gonna put the glue side down. Now, of course, you wanna refer to your manufacturer's instructions, but for this particular interfacing, I'm gonna smooth it out nice and smooth, and I'm gonna use my iron on a hot setting with steam. That's gonna help it kind of all fuse together, and I'm gonna place it directly on the interfacing and let it sit there for a few seconds. Now here's a big lesson that I wish I had learned earlier, is you don't want your interfacing to be bigger than your shirt because you can fuse it to your ironing board and it makes a sticky mess. It's hard to clean up. I'm gonna take my time and work that iron over all parts of my interfacing to adhere it completely to the shirt. Once I have that interfacing put on here, it's gonna make the shirt a lot more stable and easier to handle and sew together. So I'm gonna repeat with the rest of the shirts and then trim them to size. Sometimes you'll come across that shirt that has a graphic that's just too large for the block. I've put together a free bonus video in which I give you tips for trimming your t-shirt blocks, and you can find the link to that in the description box below. While I have my shirts all interfaced, it's time to start trimming them down to the size I need for my quilt. This particular quilt, the graphic was way too large, so I trimmed it down by highlighting the best part of the t-shirt. This was my favorite, so I centered this and trimmed around it. I hope Jeremy thinks this is his favorite part of the shirt as well. I'm gonna continue with all my shirts. Besides the t-shirts in this rockin' quilt, I'm gonna make some large flying geese blocks. And so I have my bigger triangles and my smaller triangles, and I'm gonna pair them together to make the individual units. So what I'm gonna do is sew 2 smaller triangles to the side of a bigger triangle, and I'm gonna have my first flying geese block unit. I'm gonna fold it over and align the bottom edge together and sew a 1/4 inch seam along that side. Once it's pieced, I'm gonna carefully press it away from the middle triangle, not stretching it. I don't want to stretch it out of shape. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side, folding it over, aligning the bottom edge, and sewing a 1/4 inch along that seam. Now I'm gonna try really hard to make this perfect and have those points all perfectly matched, but I think the joy on Jeremy's face when he sees his t-shirts and a quilt will overshadow any piecing that's not perfect. At least I hope it's joy and happiness. And oh, she's so thoughtful. I'm gonna quickly trim those dog ears off, get it all cleaned up, and then make all the triangles with different colors of fabric. Now that I have a bunch of flying geese with different color placements, some of them are gonna get set aside for later, and some of them will be sewn together in groups of 2. So these first 2 blocks, I'll set those aside, are gonna go together like this. It's gonna make a cool kind of chevron shape in the area it comes together. Now when I sew them together, I'm gonna sew with a point on top. That way, as I'm sewing my 1/4 inch seam, I can try really hard to make my line hit that point and give me that perfectly pieced point, which is gonna make his t-shirt quilt look so good. A quick press of the seam and I have my first flying geese block. And I'm gonna keep doing that in different arrangements. And here you can see the second flying geese block, how it's making that gray chevron. But the secondary pattern that comes out with this awesome quilt pattern will be obvious when I start laying out the first row. So let's do that. So I'm not quite done with all my blocks and laying them out, but I'm so excited about how this is turning out, I want to show you my progress. So as you can tell, I have my t-shirts lined up, I have my flying geese blocks, and because I am so easily amused, I am loving the secondary pattern that comes out with this. As you can tell, those flying geese blocks come together and you bet you can start to see the beginning of a star. So that's so fun. I'm gonna use that to highlight some of my favorite shirts, or the ones that have most memories for me. And then some of the flying geese are gonna come together and make a secondary frame behind it. It's almost gonna put the square behind the square and make it look really neat. What's really fun about this pattern is I can really kind of make it fit the t-shirts that I'm working with. I can reposition the blocks as I see fit. And I love how those stars and those points really extend into the border, kind of taking it off the edge. So I'm gonna keep messing with this, playing around with it, get it sewn together, and then I'll give you some tips on quilting t-shirt quilts. So I better get to it. I'm excited to have the t-shirt quilt finished and basted and ready to quilt, but there are a couple things I need to keep in mind. First, that knit fabric can be a little shifty, if you know what I mean, even though I've stabilized it. So one thing that I'm using to make that a little easier is I'm using my more dynamic foot. This particular foot has a hopping motion, which will help it hop over those bulky seams, you know, if I didn't piece it correctly, but also that knit fabric. To keep it from pushing over, it's gonna kind of help it hop right over it. I'm also gonna go with a bigger, more open quilting design. I don't want this quilt to be stiff, and I don't want the quilting to go over a lot of the emblems and decals on the quilt. So I'm gonna use a big loopy design that's gonna kind of work its way in and out of the fabrics. So let me show you what that looks like. So to keep this quilt nice and soft, I'm gonna quilt a loopy kind of meander. It's gonna be a line that goes in all different directions, and every once in a while, when I'm feeling like I'm ready to rock, I'm gonna quilt a loop and continue on. And as I'm quilting those loops, I don't really care which direction they go. I'm just making sure that that line goes in all different directions. It's meandering in and out of the t-shirts, all around the chevron block, wherever I happen to go. Transitioning from the knit to the cotton is actually pretty easy. I'm just gonna take my time and reposition my hands often, making sure that I keep this line nice and curvy. As I'm quilting, if I feel the fabric is starting to move on me and it's gonna maybe get a tuck where it folds over on itself, I'm gonna take a moment and use my hands to kind of flatten it out and move that fabric away from where it's at. It's not the end of the world if I get a tuck, but even if the fabric gets close to each other and it doesn't cross over, when I wash this quilt, it's gonna kind of take away all of that. So I'm gonna try my best to manipulate the fabric as I go and just get it as close as I can. For the most part, as I'm working my way around the quilt, I'm gonna try to stay away from those heavier decals or those thicker paints. If I get to a print that feels a little thinner, I know I can kind of work my way over that if needed. I am gonna slow down a little bit, take my time, and kind of quilt in and amongst the letters to really make it rock. As I'm quilting through the t-shirt and the interfacing, I have to remember that it's a lot thicker than your regular cotton fabric. So I'm gonna put a new needle in before I start, and I'm gonna take my time and go a little bit slower, which is a little counterintuitive for me because I wanna go as fast as I can, but I'm gonna get a much better stitch if I take my time. All right, so I have my favorite tunes ready to play. I've got my thread and bobbins filled. I'm gonna finish quilting this rockin' t-shirt quilt and show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. And this t-shirt quilt is finished. I love all the different colors of shirts and fabrics. It was a little tricky picking out the thread color because I have so many different colors of fabric. I had the navy, the white, the gray, and the black, and of course, all the different colored t-shirts. So when I auditioned threads, I opted for a navy thread color. Now I know that sounds a little crazy because I'm always talking about making thread color blend, and it's definitely gonna show up on this lighter piecing. However, it blends in on most of the t-shirts, and that keeps the quilting from overwhelming those beautiful graphics that I chopped into little pieces and sewed into a quilt so that hopefully Jeremy likes them. So picking the thread color was very important to me to make sure it didn't overwhelm those beautiful blocks. And you can tell just how fun this whole quilt's looking with those secondary patterns that go throughout the whole thing. And don't forget, I have that bonus video that gives you tips for cutting up the t-shirts, especially if you have ones that are a little bit more difficult or larger than the block that you have to deal with. And you can find the link for that in the description box below. All that's left to do is to wrap this quilt up and put the tag on it. To Dad, from the kids. P.S. It was our idea.